Problem 18-35B, classifying costs. So I'm going to pronounce this as Georgia Inc. is the manufacturer of a lawn care equipment. The company incurs the following costs while manufacturing edgers. So we can go ahead and open up the costs, have a quick peek at those. These will show up here at the bottom so we can close out of this for now. So requirement 1, describe the difference between period costs and product costs. So that's going to be this first portion here. And in the second part, we are going to classify Georgia Inc.'s costs as period costs or product costs. If the costs are product costs, further classify them as direct materials, direct labor, or manufacturing overhead. So remember from the video of the PowerPoint, costs are broken down into period costs versus product costs. Product costs are just that, and costs associated with building or obtaining a product which you later plan to sell. And then period costs are all other costs. They are expense in the period in which they are incurred. So which of those costs are operating costs that are expense in the accounting period in which they are incurred? I just said that those are period costs basically. They're all costs that are not product costs. And then product costs are all the costs of a product that GAAP, generally accepted accounting principles, requires companies to treat as an asset for external financial reporting. These costs are recorded as an asset inventory on the balance sheet until the asset is sold. The cost is then transferred to an expense account. And what's that expense account called on the income statement? You should know this by heart now. It's cost of goods sold on the income statement. So let's go ahead and check our answer. Fantastic. Okay. Then on the income statement, cost of goods sold is subtracted from sales revenue to determine gross profit. The period costs are then subtracted to determine operating income. So let's go ahead and check our answer. Fantastic. Okay, now we're on to requirement 2. Classify Lawler's costs as period costs or product costs. If the costs are product costs, further classify as direct materials, direct labor, or manufacturing overhead. So again, we have each of these costs that are also shown up here in this link, but they're also here on the left, so you don't need this. So first we have the handle and shaft of edgers. So the edger is a piece of equipment that helps you edge your lawnmower. So this is obviously direct materials. So we have product cost, direct materials. And then we also have motor of that edger. That is also the same product cost, direct materials, since it is part of the product and can be traced directly to each edger. So now we have factory labor for workers assembling the edgers. These people who work directly on the edgers. So this is going to be direct labor under product costs. And then we have the lubricant used on bearings and the edger, not traced to the product. So what they're telling us is they are not specifically measuring how much lubricant is used on each one because it's not economically feasible. It's too expensive. So this would then be an indirect material. Now, indirect materials is not on this list, but those fall under manufacturing overhead. So let's go ahead and input product cost, manufacturing overhead. And we can check our answers so far. Fantastic. Okay. So now we have glue to hold the housing together. Now, are they going to sit there and measure how many drops of glue that they use on each item? No, this is going to be another indirect material, which again is manufacturing overhead. So let's put product costs, manufacturing overhead there. And then we have plant janitorial wages. So the janitor is in the plant, and the plant is where they make the edgers. So this is an indirect cost. Specifically, it's indirect labor. So manufacturing overhead. Under product cost is going to be the category because, again, we can't trace the janitor's wages to a specific edger. And then next up, we have depreciation on factory equipment. So the key is this factory equipment is a product cost, but it's not a direct cost. So it's not direct materials or direct labor, so it has to be manufacturing overhead. Because we do not trace this depreciation specifically to one edger or the other. And then lastly, we have rent on plant and not rent on the office. This is the plant where the product is made. This is a product cost, and it is a manufacturing overhead because it is not specifically traced to one edger again or other. So let's go ahead and input manufacturing overhead and check our answer. Nice work. Okay, we've got a little bit more to go here. So we have sales commission. Do salesmen produce a product? No. So this is a period cost. And then we have administrative salaries. Do they work on building products? Nope. So this is again a period cost. And then we have plant utilities. Since these are utilities for the plant and not for the office, this is a product cost. But utilities like the electricity, they're not traced to one edger or the other. That'd be too difficult. So this is manufacturing overhead under product costs. And then we have shipping costs to deliver finished edgers to customers. This has nothing to do with building the products. This has to do with selling the products. So this is a period cost. So let's go ahead and check our answer. Well done.